Okay, hey guys. Okay, so I'm gonna do this is gonna be another video on another one of the pins from the homesteading board. My hair's a mess. And this one is from, I'm going back, just like I said I was going to. This is from the Homestead Animal Starts, and this is called 4 of the Best Animals to Start Out With When You Are a New Homesteader. Sorry. So, here we go. When you are just starting out in your homestead, it's easy to want to jump in with both feet and get a whole whack load of animals. However, it can be wiser to start out slower. Today I'm going to talk about why and what animals are great to start out with on your homestead. I already know we're going to start out, we're definitely getting chickens, and I'm going to get those as soon as possible. I just have to get it set in stone on us getting a vehicle. So, when you start homesteading, you dream of looking out of your window and seeing animals. The more the better. But when you're new to homesteading, there's quite a learning curve, and if you get too many animals at once, you can easily feel overwhelmed to throw the towel in. By going slow and adding animals a little at a time, you can learn about what each animal requires for care without feeling like you've bitten off more than you can chew. And I get where they're coming from, but I feel like we're running out of time. So this is why especially if we get that investment money, I will be getting our animals. I'm gonna make sure we get up on that property, get our barns built, or our barn, our coops, our fencing, the whole 9 yards, and we'll get our animals. And we're just gonna have to learn as we go. So, and it's probably gonna be very overwhelming for a while, but I mean, you guys are gonna see it pretty much on a daily basis because you're going to see what we have. You're going to see what we do, what we're learning, and how we're doing it, and that kind of thing. So, it's also going to be teaching you guys as well. It also gives you time to figure out what animals you want on your homestead and what you prefer not to have. And you know what? I think that's okay and part of the homesteading journey. And it is okay. It's easy to look on Instagram or Facebook and see those homesteaders who seem to be rocking it with their massive Pinterest perfect gardens and fields of homestead animals. But you know what? Every homesteader is different, and what works for them won't necessarily work for you and your family. And that's okay. Homesteading has many different layers, and it really is living a life of self-sufficiency. You can work towards some self-sufficiency no matter where you live, and you don't have to do it all. For us, we've discovered we enjoy the shorter term projects in the way of animals, meaning we prefer raising animals for meat only part of the year. We have had the laying hens for 3 years, but aside from that, we've had no year-round animals here. We did goats last summer for milk and discovered it wasn't a good fit for our family. At first, I felt like a failure, like I had to love every animal experience at our homestead to be a true homesteader. But then I realized that I was really glad we had tried the goats, that it hadn't been a mistake, and that it was a learning experience for us. This year we raised a pig, lambs, and chickens for meat. It was definitely a better fit for our family. But I'm still not tied to any one plan for our homestead, and I'm totally okay with changing it year by year. We are already talking about maybe doing a bit of traveling next summer to see the mountains, and we know if we choose to do that, it means we really have to limit what we're doing animal-wise for that time. I truly believe for everything there is a season, and again, that looks different for everyone. But back to the real reason of this post, what animals are the best animals to start out with when you are new to homesteading? And I've done a couple of these ones already, but this is, just another one to throw out there for you. 4 of the best animals to start out when you are a new homesteader. So here we go. Number 1, chickens, of course. And as soon as possible, I am going to get chicks, even while we're still here. And we're going to make a brooder, just like we did in Michigan. And, I'll get the pine bedding, yada, yada, yada. And the feed and I'll have to get the feed. I won't have a choice because, we don't have, we're starting from scratch. So I'll have to get the feed, and I'll do videos, and I'll share it, and all that kind of stuff. And we're going to take a piece of fence, and just put it over the top of it like I did in Michigan. And I'll get a heat lamp and all that stuff, so. And I'll figure out the whole off-grid thing as we're going up there. But I really want to get chickens as soon as possible. and get it to where we're raising those chicks. So, as we're getting, like, maybe by the time we get the coops built, they'll be ready to be put in that area and begin laying shortly. And then maybe we can get a few hens that are actually laying at the same time so we can start getting the farm fresh eggs. Okay. Chickens are like the ultimate beginner animal on a homestead, and they really are. Like, after my experience in Michigan, they really are. They really are the best beginner animal on a homestead. When we moved into country property here in August 3 years ago, we got our first batch of chicks a month later. We didn't even have the coop completely ready. But there's something about a bunch of chicks brooding in your house that makes you want to finish a project pretty quickly. Sorry. Chickens are very easy to care for, and so the learning curve is pretty small. We didn't get a rooster for the first time around, and that made it even easier. If you want to know more about raising chickens, there's a lot of things out there on it, and there's going to be a lot of videos on here about it. So you guys can check those out as I put them out. Ducks. Ducks are another animal that are pretty easy to care for, and we will have ducks. And I'm going to aim for probably the layers. The laying, the ones that, lay pretty much around the same amount of eggs as chickens. And we're going to sell those, and that's going to be a moneymaker for our homestead. So, the major difference between ducks and chickens is you need to make sure you have a water source for your ducks. However, you don't need a pond to keep them happy. You can use a kiddie pool. They can lay eggs for you, and you can raise them for meat. Rabbits. And remember, the rabbits are going to be another business source, but that's going to be a source of money for Chloe. Alright, rabbits are a good one to have if you are in town and want a homestead but can't get bigger animals. They don't require a lot of space, and often rabbits fall under the category of pets, and so it doesn't matter where you live. There's a good chance that you can raise them. Some people raise rabbits for meat, and others breed them and sell the babies, and that's what we're going to be doing, is breeding and selling the babies. Okay. Good thinking. Prove your dad wrong. Goats. And I'm pretty sure now I'm going to go ahead with dairy goats for our property. I'm not doing goats for meat. I don't want to do that. Now, as I said above, goats weren't a great choice for our family, but I know many other people who are very happy with their goats. Honestly, that's why we tried goats. We knew so many people who had them, we figured it would be good for us. Goats require a little more than other animals listed here, but are a good bigger animal to start out with. The biggest thing you need to worry about is quality fencing. Goats are notorious for getting out of their fences if it isn't good enough, so you want to make sure that you don't skimp on this part. And pallets actually do make good fencing for goats. As long as, you use posts and stuff like that to make it to where they're sturdy, they are a good fit. What animals should you consider next? After you've had your beginner animals for a little while, you will probably become a little more eager to bring some new ones to your homestead. Other animals to consider for your next addition to your home may be sheep or pigs. And the sheep, I've already said on some of my other videos, I'm very seriously considering getting sheep for the wool. And we get that investment money, I will definitely... Stupid Hulu. I will definitely, I'll get the equipment and stuff that I need to actually deal with that. So, and that's another whole learning thing, I mean, it's all a learning thing. And it's going to be a learn as we go thing. Pigs require good fencing, whether you use electric or something else, but aside from that, I found raising a pig fairly easy. They are actually quite fascinated to watch too, as they are super smart animals and seem to like people. Okay. We'll be raising what they call feeder pigs, and we'll be raising them literally for meat. And I'm going to see if I can make a deal with Sandy and Jason and see if they would help us out with like butchering and that kind of thing, because I really don't want to have to do it. My stomach isn't real great with that. So if I can make a deal with them, like if you'll help us butcher our animals, I'll give you a portion of the meat kind of thing. that should work out. That whole bartering thing. Sheep are another one for you. Another one you want decent fencing for, but they aren't that much different from raising goats. Sheep tend to run from humans instead of to humans, whereas goats tend to enjoy human company. However, our sheep were bottle fed, so they are pretty happy to see us enter the pen, mostly because they want us to feed them. The bigger animals. Of course, you may be ready for something bigger and looking to add cows and horses to your homestead, and we will have a dairy cow, so we can have the homemade butter and cheese, and I want to do homemade yogurt and that kind of thing. So, and I'm not looking for us to be traveling, so well, we've never had those animals on our homestead, mostly due to cost and because we only have 2 acres here. Many other people with the space and finances to branch out to these bigger animals are extremely happy with their presence on their homestead. Before you bring home your cow or horse, though, I would suggest you do as much research as possible and have your fencing and shelter for them in place, obviously. I've read many stories about how people didn't have a place to put them before they brought them home, and it caused a lot of stress and headaches. Well, that's not a smart idea. So start preparing before you add them to your homestead family. Is there any animals you've wanted to try out on your homestead but have been too nervous to make the jump? This list definitely isn't exhaustive, as many people like to add other animals like alpacas, llamas, miniature ponies, and so much more. I even came across a homesteader on YouTube who recently added camels to their homestead. What animal will you add to your homestead next? Quail is also a good one. So yeah, what animals do you have, and what animal are you thinking of adding other animals to your homestead? Leave a comment, guys, and let me know. And if you're new to the channel, if you've just run across our channel and you've just found us, we are Faith First Farm and Homestead. We have 12.53 acres down here in Oklahoma. We moved down here from Michigan about a year and a half ago. We do not live on our property yet. I don't have a vehicle, and that's the only reason why. We will be getting a vehicle, waiting on income taxes and another amount of money that we're going to be getting. I will be getting a camper trailer to put on our property. Our friend Andrew, he's been staying with us for a little while now. He does have property of his own, but he also does not have a vehicle. And a friend of his that's a neighbor to his property has a camper trailer, and he's selling it for $500, and that's where we're going to get our camper trailer from. So we're going to put that on our property, and that needs a little bit of work, so we're going to do some fixing on that, and probably like the first day we get it up there. And I definitely want to make it to where it's livable within that time frame, so we're going to have to fix as much as possible. Try to see if we can get a load of pallets up there, a couple loads of them the same day kind of thing, and start working on the trailer. And that way, get it livable to where we can start staying up there at least 2 or 3 times a week, so we can start working on the property, cabin, coops, that kind of thing. And then we're just going to start building. And if you're new to the channel, if you've just run across us, then go ahead and go to our live tab and click on Faith First is Going Live. And in that video, I go ahead and I explain, why we got into homesteading and what brought us down here, and just, like our plans for the property. I go into detail about our animals, our gardens, our outbuildings, our outdoor kitchen that we're planning on building, our workshop woodshed, our off-grid cabin, our greenhouse, which at the time I was planning on building it separate, but now I've decided that the greenhouse, I'm going to do an attached greenhouse to our cabin. It'll be easier to heat it. And I just go into a lot of detail. So just go ahead and watch that video. And if you would like to see our property, go ahead and pull up our video called We Made It. And it's actually like when you first click on our channel, that's like the first video that's like on there because it's kind of like a trailer introductory video. So you can go ahead and just pull that video up and, see our property and see me geek out when we found our clearing on the property. That's perfect for building. Like that whole area is just perfect. So anyway, just go ahead and go through the videos and watch the videos and make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell and click on all so you get all the notifications because I do upload a lot. And like and share the videos, share them on all of your platforms, and share them with friends and family and everyone you can think of, and make sure you tell them, share them on all your platforms. And I will go ahead and get the title on this one, and I will have Chloe get the intros on them, and I will get them uploaded today. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.